Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We're back on Casse Pots for the Americas East for the A's in Division 1. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and actually Twitter now. If you want to go follow our Twitter account at Z Community Live. We got some cool community stuff happening over there. Saw Debbie in Shape doing some awesomeness on an FTP increase today. You don't know who Debbie in Shape is. I don't even know who you are or what you're doing in the Zwift community anymore, but solid day so far today. We had some of the most exciting women's racing earlier today that I've ever seen on Zwift. Not kidding, no cap, like that was amazing.
I completely agree. First off, if you don't know Debbie in Shape, who are you out there? Come on. She's the best. But you're right, Nathan. I think that today would go down as one of my favorite days of racing, and we are just getting into it. There's still more to come, but boy, how cool was it having the world champion, Ashley Moolman-Pasio, out with her Roca Cobra team? They're really a story to watch. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping World of Zwift picks up on that. And Maud LaRue and company there with Wahoo Lacole, outstanding job. So we've got a lot to look forward to. And we also really got to witness Catherine Curie in a pitched battle out there. So a lot to look forward to here now, as we're going to jump in for 46, actually makes it a little over 47K of racing. But the story is petite KOM. There's so much to work with on this course between the sprints, the fastest through segments, WTRL, just doing an awesome job of making esports racing exciting. It's actually a little bit off there. It's more like 310 meters and 47.5K of racing we learned earlier. I got caught out by that. It's a little bit different than what we saw in the Premier League earlier. But there's the feature climbs. It's Aqueduct. You never know, Nathan. We've seen some action on Aqueduct out there as well before they get to petite KOM. The petite, really a misnomer, as I was joking with Matt Stevens. It's a monster.
Yeah, it is quite the monster, and it definitely splits things apart. And prior to even hitting it, you end up smacked right in the face with a back-to-back right here with Pave Sprint and the Aqueduct. Boom, boom, going for the points. Then it calms down for a moment, and then right on into that Cat 4 climb, which really, each one of those back and forth little switchbacks are really where it's at there. Let's go ahead and take a look back. The women are out on course. Let's take a look back at how they started, though, as right from the get-go. This has kind of been the story on the day, is there's been these jumps right from the start pens in order to grab these initial sprints. And we do see the sprinter from Team Riot jumping right onto the Cryogen Rider's wheel, Christina there, looking to try and cover a move by her. But Christina, being the stronger of the Riot, really the key sprinter there, I would say Claire Cameron as well. But this kind of ends up getting her caught out a little bit following that move, I think, wasting a couple of matches to go with it. Goes very early, but here comes the pack charging hard in this first Marina sprint. And look who ended up getting the advantage of that early attack there. It is DDC, actually, the main rivals. So Cameron ends up in second. Looks like Gallopin, and then Riot with Gagnon. Sisu Du is there as well with Ramsey. Christina Grossman ends up all the way back in, I think, 5th or 6th place there. So interesting to see how that played out at the start of the race. The ladies are, at this point, about, from what we can see here, 7.5 kilometers in. They still got a little ways to go before their next immediate sprint. The boys are just taking off, though. So I'm going to head on over to their feed because they're going to have something similar taking place that just happened within the women's race. That Marina sprint right from the gun. And it's a points race, Dave. That's all that matters.
Perfect. Well, we'll say goodbye to the women. And remember, Rebecca Larson is one of the fastest finishers. She's got a wicked wicked kick. I mean, just straight up nasty. So we'll be watching to see what happens with the women, but let's jump in with the men. And here we go. Royal City. Nice to see a team that's really been just working hard in the ZRL arena. And they've made some big steps forward, too. They've become quite a player out here. This is Luinstra that we're with this all-Canadian team. Guelph is the town in Canada that we reference when we talk about Royal City. And I guess we should talk about, Nathan, I guess what makes a great course, you're going to see it all out here today, but a big part of it is where these sprints are placed. And we're witnessing one right now. It looks like KBH is going to snag it, and it is going to be the man out of New Hampshire, Kevin Bouchard-Hall, coming across the line for the Velocio team. Kevin Bouchard-Hall, look how perfectly he times that. I just love this guy. The way he races, talk about your thinking man's racer. His IQ out here is so high. He did exactly what he needed to do, nothing more, nothing less, to get those points there at our first sprint. And that's also a fastest through segment, correct?
Yes. So it is a fastest through, and there's first.
That might have been good for both.
It may
knowing
have been.
the way
He came
KBH
flying
operates.
on. That was
Yeah. And to win those, you don't start at the front and hold them off. You start in the middle of the group and surf the wave up to the front if you want to take that fastest through segment. There's a lot of strategy to that. Do you ever go for those, Nathan, when you're racing?
Yeah, well, I don't. You know, the only place you can race points races
You haven't had a chance
is
to,
the WTRL.
have you?
Yeah. Like,
right.
So what am I going to do?
Broadcasting. Right. Yeah. No, broadcasters don't get a chance.
So you want to make my day a little longer? I actually said to Martin the other day, I should just race Oceania because we don't broadcast and it could just start my day. I just race at midnight and then have the rest of my day. Sure. There we go.
I love it. Listen,
I'm not kidding, too. I was literally like, I really might do
You're
this.
thinking about it. Nathan, I have never worked with anyone in my 20 years in cycling that has more passion for what they do than you. It's a huge compliment. It really is. And most people would say, well, he's just kidding. Well, no. Actually, Nathan's not kidding. He probably will do this at some point.
Actually, if somebody wants to pick me up and we can bend the rules, but the whole community needs to say it's okay for Nathan to bend the rules because I'm not a rule breaker. It's in the rules.
Yes.
You can't, I'm not. It's already written. Somebody will be like,
are you saying?
Did, da, 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 and then you can't play those games, right? So I can't get in unless everyone takes a poll and every single person says it's okay. So... Yeah.
If we have complete committal from everybody. Well, I guess it's sort of like that. Employees of the radio station can't win a prize in the radio station giveaways.
Yeah,
right.
But there's no
sort
prizes. Like I don't know. I guess if I tried qualifying for Premier Division, then things get all kinds of crazy. But I'm not going there. Let's take a look at that.
How
the women are about to head into their sprint actually here for their next intermediate section here. But let's just take a quick look at it because that was really, really well timed. I mean, watch how this is opened up. And the other thing about this isn't walkaway racing in any way. This America's East is very tight. Like, watch how the dirt, ATP Hydrogen, Plush just come on so intensely right at those last moments here. And like you said, KBH timed it, but it was only a half a bike. I mean, so this is really, really tight sprinters racing.
He led the race for about 15 meters, the 15 meters where the finish line was located.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a master class that you're looking at right there. We're back in with a woman who's giving her own master class this season in the ZRL, Rebecca Larson.
Yeah, and Rebecca, newer to the scene as far as we are familiar with when it comes to Zwift racers here.
I'm now wondering why they go by Dutch Diesel. Almost thinking coffee in a way. The Dutch love their coffee, like many nations around the world, but have to get some intel on that. Maybe that's something I can work on while you're doing 98% of the work over there. Nathan, I'll see what I can find out. But we learned certainly, I mean, having Catherine Curie, who's the winningest rider in the ZRL's history in the Premier Division, racing in the community now. And she's doing that with the Sisu I Race Like a Girl team. And Ashley Mulman-Pasio, who's the reigning, I mean, she right now was racing in her World Champions eSport jersey. It says a lot about the level that the community is at. Rebecca Larson was one of the top sprinters in the United States back in the 2000s. She's since gone on to become a mom. She raced actually collegiately at the University of Florida in Gainesville. But during her day, she rode for a team called Aaron's, which was the women's. There was Jittery Joe's and Aaron's racing out of Athens, Georgia, back in that era, and she was a very talented rider, and remains a very talented rider. And Nathan, we talked about how this platform on Zwift has given so many athletes. Here she is again. So right on cue. This is Rebecca Larson doing what Rebecca Larson does. But Christina Grossman out of New York City.
Oh, the timing! The timing! Oh my gosh, it's not about the Wattage Cottage always. Sometimes it's the tactics in the back of the shed. Plaid. I mean, that was it.
He was plaid. For a brief moment there, did you see that? It flashed plaid, didn't it? Or was that just my eyes?
All I saw was a dark helmet and like a little short man with glasses. So I don't know what happened.
These are Spaceballs references. So you have to follow along to know the narrative here. But Christina Grossman and Kristen Kolchinski are good friends. They're both
coached. Now I need a cup of coffee.
Oh my God. Oh, Rachel Lieberman, another one of our riders of note, without any doubt. She's out of Seattle. I love her story about showing up at a group ride with a bunch of strong Cat 2, Cat 1 dudes and dusting them, and going back and looking at her Strava and some other people saying, "You're putting up numbers that look like a pro." And she's like, "No, I'm just Rachel Lieberman." And next thing you know, she's out racing. She's out racing at the very front end, the sharp end of the group. I think that a lot of these women, Nathan, had no idea the talent that they had inside them because they'd never really been given a chance. Evelyn Gagnon right there, 100%. Another talented rider.
Opportunity is 100% the name of the game.
Yes, sir.
You know, and there's a reality that, you know, the dominance of the sport really having even like local group rides, how much just males are showing up. You know what I mean? It's like, well, not feeling comfortable. People aren't like, you know what I mean? Like having that access point with someone who's like you at your level, who's a female. This has just opened things up so much. Can you imagine? So awesome to see people like Lieberman.
It is.
I mean, the list goes on.
I look at V Win too. I'm a big fan of V Win, and I see she just moved to Boston following a job. And I mean, imagine, the success that she has, how when they see V, this pocket rocket from Vietnam, who actually you can go reference a World of Zwift that features V back when she was living in Seattle. But I think that one of the really, really cool things there is there's a lot of young Asian women that might be intimidated when they look at this, and V's showing them that, no, go for it. You might be surprised at how awesome you are. Watts per kilo are a fascinating thing because it levels the playing field for the smaller athletes. That's for sure. Here we go, taking a look at Alana Brady. Alana, very talented.
Here we go. And this is a good move by her because this is how she could win this sprint. That little turn right there, you can kind of catch people off guard with that little because people go a little bit late on this one a lot of times. And you can see, completely catches the whole field out. There it is. Lieberman with 7 watts per kilogram. Grossman's going to come through for second. She's racking up a lot of points here. Lieberman third.
Sure is.
Master. Cameron's there as well. Riot's been doing a good job of making sure to stack the top of this first across the line, though.
Christina Grossman also has been featured on World of Zwift, and what a fascinating person she is, and her passion for animal rescue and what she does with the Galga dogs that she has. Andy, the long doggo, you can follow him on Instagram. And I must say right now, maybe not a time to talk about Instagram accounts because it is going down out there. This is a big moment, and Christina Grossman is on the right side of this split. But Nathan, this looks like around 15 riders or so. Riot looks like they're okay. Dutch Diesel's got at least a couple. Rebecca Larson is right there. Claire Cameron's making this move. Tilburn is there. Smith is there. Let's see everybody in this group, Nathan, because this is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, interesting enough here, this is exactly what we had talked about, that this back-to-back with the aqueduct and that sprint, it just kind of puts people, your heart's up in the throat, the threshold is over, you're up in that 160, 70, and then 180s, then you got to do the aqueduct following that, somebody's going for points, you're just trying to hang on to the back, and next thing you know, there's a little split, there's a downhill, the speeds pick up, and that group is gone. It's 2 seconds at this point. A few of these ladies, though, I think got caught out who are strong enough to be with that front group and just maybe a little inattentiveness, because I'm seeing 5 watts per kilogram from Blake here in the Stingers.
Yeah, I think they're going to get back, but this was close by the skin of their teeth. They are going to rejoin. That front group, Nathan, wasn't as motivated to hold them off as they might have been. We do have a long way to race here. We're looking at still over 30 kilometers of racing out here on lap 1 of 2. There's enough talented riders with enough motivation in that second group that wasn't going to stay that way for too long. It's like at the diner, putting 2 bottles of ketchup and turning them into a new bottle. We've got a new group here. We marry this together. That's close.
NC here. Should we just call her North Carolina? 6.3 watts per kilogram just to hang on. As she just put a mountain of weight on herself for a moment there, though. She needs that bin button on
Natalie.
The companion app.
Yeah, Natalie there is going to be the last rider to catch back on into this group here as we take a look at some selections being made. This is our again, the Americas East has always been a really competitive group, Nathan. And I think right now everybody out here benefits from just this mix of teams and racers that we have. There's Lenny Ramsey. I see the Sisu Do rider. But let's take a look at points right now. As we've talked about Christina Grossman a lot, you can see that she's got 24 points right there. Even with Boyinger. Boyinger is, what's interesting is those points are coming off of the fastest through segment, or a lot of them anyways. The top point getter, Claire Cameron, with 32. She's fighting on both fronts out there, both the first across the line, which are bonus sprints, versus the fastest through segment, which is a timed segment out there. Rachel Lieberman, second. Rebecca Larson on her sprinting prowess more than her fastest through segment, picking up 26 points, sitting in third. These points all get tallied with your team. That all then goes into a table, and we'll sort out the top teams on each day of racing for the community. This is their 4th week of racing of 10 that they have. There's 6 weeks of racing for the Premier Division.
So it looks like Riot are on a riot here as they can kind of just are walking away a little bit with this one. Watch out for DDC, though. They're right on their heels, as you do see Larson. And it looks like, what do we all have here between the riders? It looks like it's going to be Larson holding it down. Boyinger, as you did say, McMaster. So DDC still involved for sure. Lieberman holding it down really well for ATP. At the bottom there, Ramsey does have 12 points. So this race is far from over when it comes to the points. Sometimes the selections happen very quickly on the points races, but really well done so far between the teams to keep things fairly even and interesting for the competition today. We are heading into the next sprint point. We'll be seeing the Sunflowers in just a moment, and that's when you know things are about to open up when it comes to this Flatlander section of the France course. And as we look to our right, there's the Sunflowers. Now people are going to start fighting for position in this men's East division as Guarani head to the front out of Brazil.
You know, even with McCurry Island and that the Asia Japanese world, this one still I love so much. There's the Sunflowers, that a feature of Tour de France, a feature of France, I guess, regardless of the tour. That's always extremely cool to see the sunflowers and the lavender fields and the lilac. It's such an awesome country. As we take a look at Chris Uberti now racing out of Detroit, Michigan, this aerodynamics mastermind here on the Next Level team. Boy, Next Level's really built up a franchise, Nathan. They have been crushing it in Premier Division. And should any rider have a problem, they're ready with the whole strong group. Like Chris Uberti is.
Look at Haney.
Yeah, very, very early. Let's see what happens here.
He's Rule 5 in it all day long. He's living up to the team name. Cassidy just following and saying, okay, I'll give a little bit here and just hang on to your wheel, get a free ride at 59 kilometers per hour. He might launch off of the top of this. He better, because that Pax is going to come charging hard here, 12 watts per kilogram behind. We're going to see it up into 13 there from Uberti out of Michigan, but it's going to be a hold on barely here, perhaps. No, here comes Uberti. Easy peasy. Look at it. Wow, the timing. The timing from Next. Whew.
They're good.
They're
really good.
Very good. 100%. Nice timing by Uberti. You know, I wasn't sure if it was him.
That was very KBH of him.
Who was doing some gravel. Did he do Barry-Roubaix? I want to say that maybe one of his teammates was out there running the Barry-Roubaix. What's really cool about this East and some of the West, but the East is they end up hitting a lot of the local mountain bike road races that I am a part of and know,
Right.
like watch and want to go do and stuff. So it's always kind of cool for me as a commentator to see these guys out there doing stuff I've done or want to do, and then jumping into the Zwift racing at this level. Super cool to see. But nice sprint by you, Bertie.
Yeah, taking a look at all those yellow jerseys, that's the Velocio team. The green jersey is going to be next. The Royal City jersey is the yellow and black that sometimes you might see the Kerkmeyer team. We're going to jump over with Natalie, actually Catherine Monk's here, looking at some of the riders because it looks like they're starting to press the pace here. Is that Lenny Ramsey?
Does Rathwell?
Megan Rathwell, yeah,
Yep.
Riot rider Megan Rathwell here.
Soon as it goes uphill, classic.
What a talent! What a pure talent this athlete is. The Canuck up right now is what Megan Rathwell is telling everybody else. This is how we do it in Canada, old school Fury style.
3 seconds. This is a solid move. Maybe just for first fastest through segment. She could also be just going for points as well. So those two things can add up for her. Now, I would kind of want someone to come across. I would really like someone to come across if I were her.
You made the point earlier, though, Nathan, and then thinking about it during our break, I agree. A lot of times you could go out with more than one objective, right? Sometimes fastest through segment, sometimes first across the line, sometimes both, sometimes maybe throw in a bid for a race win out there. It's a little earlier for that conversation. Right now, right? I mean, we've got a lot of racing, and obviously, we haven't even had a chance with all this excitement to talk about the Anvil, the Burrito, and the Van today, the 3 power-ups that we've got. The Anvil, for 30 seconds, increases your weight, making you a much faster descender. The Burrito, basically, it's almost like a Batman-type trick. You avoid the draft around yourself for 2.5 meters. Be careful, though. You could do it to your teammates. And then the Van, which is a 50% increase in the drafting effect that you're receiving for 30 seconds. These are 3 very interesting and fun power-ups. You don't see the Anvil anywhere but events. And Megan Rathwell is the opposite of an Anvil. She's floating like an angel on her way up to heaven right now.
Yeah, her attack here has completely blown that pack up, actually. Zanato off the back here. We do see just barely unable to hang on, actually. It's going to be PPR there from the Durance Training inside team there. It's going to be, hey, here we go. Remian killing it. On the back, hanging on for ATP. Good to see. And then
Honey Power.
ATP rider here. It's going to be Lieberman, of course, trying to chase down Rathwell. I think Rathwell's got the gap. 5 seconds is plenty to hold on to unless there's a big jump from that pack, but I don't think they're going to have it. As a little bit of fading there. Now coming back into that gradient, which she likes to push against. 6.7 now, as you can see. 176 beats per minute. 2 more switchbacks, and then it will be the KOM. Lieberman is hunting, though. So is Brady.
Yeah, Kinsey Rimian is also a rider that we're going to hear more from right now as we take a look at this really select group that's come together. Sarah McMaster is another one of the Canadians in there for the OTR racing team. There's Claire Cameron, however, just waiting to see if they make the catch of her teammate. I would expect that Claire Cameron is going to become a headline story here, but Megan Rathwell still holding them off. You can see that she's making her way up the 8 hairpins, and looks like she's done it, Nathan. She's going to come across the line as our queen of the mountain.
Yeah, what's the plan here from Riot, though? They've dropped their sprinters at this point. Brady comes through second. Now it's going to be Cameron is here. So they do have 2 up front with Riot. That's a lot of points. And Cameron being involved here, she's still got the sprinter's legs. Grossman, though, she's done her job perhaps for the day because, I mean, look at this. This is this is gone. This is gone land. You're no longer involved in the race, the reality here. And we've got this front pack of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders. Brady going backwards. Is that right? No, Letterer here from Core. Just going to try and hang on. She needs to jump
on how hard it
wheel,
is.
like right now, though.
Yeah, this is an only the strong survive moment out there, Nathan, for sure. One thing that's noteworthy is Rebecca Larson can not only be contesting these sprints and winning them, but she's also able to stay right in that first chase group here as she's firing on all cylinders right now, the Dutch diesel rider Larson.
McMaster also there from DDC, so they've got a good contingent here. Brady went across to Rathwell. We'll see if they start working
good for her.
Or just hold up.
Alana.
I don't think they're going to hold up, though. I think look, both groups are kind of just looking at each other, not really chasing too. Oh, there's the super tucks. Never mind. I didn't see the super tucks. I was incorrect there. Totally incorrect, actually. They're up in the 61 kilometers per hour.
There's no reason for these two to waste calories trying to hold off this group right now, as we got a lot of racing ahead of us. It's going to finish up at around 47.5K out here, but significant action has gone down out here on the first lap of two, Nathan. No doubt. They're not that far now from heading out on the second lap and getting to do that all over again. The aqueduct, the sprints, and of course, the petite KOM.
2% gradient,
Alana?
58 kilometers per hour. This chase group is 27 seconds back. Are they working to get the speeds up? I don't think so. We're seeing only 50, 60 at this point. This group was doing 61 plus at that moment. So I have a feeling this group is working a little harder than that chase group. I think they've said let it go and maybe just battle for first across the line that's left over behind. That is up for grabs for sure for that pack behind.
So if you're Christina Grossman right now, right, do you, or actually Anna Russell, I guess would be not I guess, I know is the director of this team, and I'm wondering if the call is with Christina, do you say, okay, Christina, why don't you charge it up and see if you can get a fastest through segment a little bit later? Because Christina's got the talent. Is that worth doing?
Well, I mean, either way, I think now
if you're not in this group,
grabbing as much points as you possibly can. I don't know, like,
it seems like a risk because she can still get a top 15 place today.
Exactly, and get some good points. And then why waste the matches for that finish line? So that's a different.
Because that's a risk. You could end up with zero there. So I would go with the bird in hand and just race the race, not make a special effort in this case. But there's always these elements, and that's what WTRL brings to the game for sure. This isn't just a point-to-point bike race. It's a points race with a lot of different elements that add to the tactical enjoyment. I hope. If you're a smart racer, it's enjoyable.
I hope. Jumping in with the men's replay of their sprint here. Nice little kick coming in from Morse. I'm not sure he held on to it, though. He was trying to go on through. They have just started their petite KOM. We're going to take a look back at how this played out. It came right to the line. The camera does jump for a moment here for us, but I mean, dirt alert in the Mert kit too. I think Morse just held on, and then it was going to be Smallman from the dirt alert team coming through next. I think right next to him, the Royal City rider, Luinstra, was the rider that was able to take down that next spot. We'll take a look at the points here in just a moment as the men do start their petite climb for the first time.
Well, this should be interesting. What team is going to throw resources at this one? You can see the yellow and the green. The squads are all over the frontier as we start taking a look at how they want to play their cards, I think is a good way to put it, Nathan. Look at that. Next is all over the front, blanketing the front of this race right now. Got to give Nixon some credit there from Royal City. Luinstra's up there. It looks like Jacob is the first to go big. The next rider.
Next, straight to the front. Big move here coming in probably next. They're going to take, and I think they just have to. It's going to be Griffin now, 6.1. And, I mean, they do need to do something about Velocio. Velocio have just been dominating. And, it's kind of like, do you follow, or do you try and put the... That's a tough one, right, Dave? Because at least from my experience in racing, if you know that riders have shown their talent to be maybe a step above yours, you follow them till you sense weakness.
Well,
you follow them till you sense weakness, until you've got the confidence and the know that you know where those spots are, or you know where you can take advantage. Once I learned that in racing, where my advantages were, then I can be confident to take those risks and roll the dice more. It's like how many times I rolled the dice and then just got rolled over because I took too much risk. And it was like, oh, they still are way more talented in this area than I am. So maybe next are testing the waters here a little bit,
Yeah, I would agree. And, Nathan, I think something really to think about is that you want to become a successful racer. When you are engaged in battle, it's not as much about your strength as identifying or finding the chink in the armor or the moment where you can attack or make a difference and possibly take an advantage in your competitor. You've got to try to figure them out. And that's really the problem for next, to tell you. Or actually, this is a two-way street, and actually more than a two-way street. This is a crazy neighborhood, because there's a lot of really bright racers, high race IQ on all of these teams. So that's Wouter Zwart, speaking of high race IQ.
Highlight, like what a pickup by ATP. Like this is
this is a star.
big deal because
Mark.
as far as
Yeah.
level goes, he's right there with the best of them in the Zwift racing community. So Zwart heading over to ATP really evens things out amongst the drafts of this of these teams.
Yeah, he is at the quality of the riders that we've been. Well, he's proving that right now. I don't need to say that. You can see that he's incredible, and you've got to give Luinstra credit as well. Coming up to this group, this is a star-studded 4-rider group that we're looking at representing. Now, if there was ever a breakaway that was going to work, it would need that kind of representation. All of the right teams or the rider that they think would have a chance to do something special out here. I love this ride that we're seeing today from Bart. Really, really strong covering and coming across. That's Mike Barton there of the Velocio team. So he's having a breakthrough ride. Wow. As is Jan Welford out here.
All of the teams waited for
This
these
is
last
fun
couple. All of them waited for these moments, knowing they couldn't really get away. There was a hard draft on it, and they waited for the final push over the top here. It's going to be Chin there from Plush, which was Wadi Inc. Now moving over to the Plush
Adrian Chin.
Name. Nice job.
All
Chin.
that talk. And Adrian, that is the perfect example. You get a couple dogs fighting for a bone in the dog park, and then another dog will come and take it while they're fighting. Well, Adrian Chin, outstanding job there as the Plush global rider comes across the line.
Look at how this petite, just look at the mayhem behind. It's just crazy how much it just completely blows things apart. And the efforts that got to be put out to get back on terms here. I mean, look, there's like 20 riders maybe, but they're all over the field, and any one of them could get dropped at this moment if they don't put the effort in to get back on terms.
The Plush jersey in black, that's going to be Chin sitting fourth wheel. Up to the front is Next. You can see Velocio. It's almost like Next, Velocio. It's like a chess match as far as who's got what left now, because this is a big selection happening. So Frank is there. Kroner is there for Plush. Cassidy's made it for Velocio. Gagnon for ODZ.
A gap was opened. They let it go a little bit. It looks like they're going to just barely.
Back.
Oh, look at the burrito getting thrown down by Uberti. Uberti says, "Don't get my wheel." No, it wasn't Uberti. Was it? No, it was his teammate.
It was his teammate. Yeah.
But they're going to get it.
Yeah, but it all still comes together. These guys are strong enough that they, that's the thing about this level. These guys have so much ability and depth, and you don't get this far in racing without being a fighter. If you were a person that gives up on things like a moment like that, a lot of people would throw in the towel. Forget it. These guys, that's just not what they do.
Clan Knox, Lacombe.
You don't get to this point by being a quitter, Nathan.
No, you don't. That's for sure. Barton's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm there. No, I'm not. Not. That opened up so fast. Now he's throwing down a draft. He's in trouble. You don't do that unless you're in trouble here. And it's going away.
He shouldn't have. He knows that wasn't going to do him any good. I think that was a misfire.
61. He's gone.
He'll get up there. Come on now. It's hard for me not to be cheering for him.
Oh, my gosh. This is such a tough moment.
Come on, Mike.
Look, the heart rate's just gone up 2 beats. That's it. I mean, this is it right here.
So
it's leveled out.
This pulled everyone off the front. He's going to get there. All right, so Mike is going to hope that he's going to get back in, but man, he is really having to scrap.
I mean, this is the needle. This is the thread of a needle.
Last thing he wants is this descent. The last thing he needs, he's got a teammate coming back to help.
Yeah, Wetmore's going to give him that wheel here. I mean, they're trying to stretch it out.
Wetmore's really trying to make this a longer group. Yeah. The snake's tail is now rattling.
Oh my God,
and he's just going to bite on. Come on now, Mike.
1, 2, 3. We've seen the heart rate just consistently go out. 519.
Poor Mike Barton.
I mean, this is blow-up moment. Oh my gosh, dude! This is
you know what?
Sahara Desert.
He's not losing his mind here. He's at 5 watts per kilo. I think he's going to be able to. This is the hardest.
I don't know. I think he's like
it's the hardest 30 meters in the world to close.
I mean, he's not losing his mind, but he's losing his lunch. Is what he's losing right now. Oh no!
Get him a bucket. Get him a bucket.
And you can see his teammates behind. Look, this is going out still to this chase. I mean,
so his teammates don't want to let go of that group to go get him.
But now they're going to sprint, Dave. They're going to sprint. Oh gosh, and they've all just been sitting in. Oh man!
Look, so they've now stretched out 3 riders long at the back. Velocio has. They're laying a back. Well, they can't now. So here goes McCarthy to pick up the points. But hopefully for Mike
that was
Barton,
the most painful 2 kilometers I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God!
I feel exhausted. In all honesty, so KBH is going to try to grab another sprint. I think he's going to have a problem, though.
Nope, Gumbo.
Yeah, that's it.
Next is in the
Next
house.
is going to get back some bonification, but that's not too bad for Velocios. It looks like they were second, third, and fourth, but I think Mike Barton's thrown in the towel.
I want a name for whatever's going on here. Like Barton.
Well, he's getting Bartonized. He's getting Bartonized, right?
This is the Barton. This is the new Barton meme. You've been Bartoned. Whenever this happens from now on, Mike Barton is going to be like, I'm just going to have a picture of this avatar in this like sad spot. Look, I mean, he's even got a grim face. Blinks his eyes a couple times. Why don't you have like a tear?
Actually,
like
this is
to be able to push F8 and just a tear start rolling down your eyes.
This is usually in the Tour de France, like when you see Peter Sagan getting dropped, and where you wave off the camera, like there's nothing to see here. Leave me alone. Get out of here. I don't want to be on TV anymore. Well, Mike, you'll come back and have a stronger day. There's no doubt about it. The timing was just wrong there. And Nathan, that sprint activating at that point, the Velocio boys couldn't wait around any longer. They had to go snag some points. And that, unfortunately, well, he's still in the points, actually. So
how do we get his avatar to smile is what I want to know. Let's take a quick look here.
Well, we did learn. We did learn that you need to understand how to use your companion app, because one of the key plays that we've seen throughout the day and yesterday was riders who get the anvil and don't want to use it. You can bin that. You can throw it away. You don't have to play it and use it to get a new power-up. And not everyone knew that. As a matter of fact, I'd say more riders didn't know that than did, to tell you the truth. So it's this anvil power up that we only have in game. We have not seen it very often, and I think it caught a few people by surprise. Now, there's this week we can give everyone a bit of a break, but going forward, there's no reason not to know anymore if you've been doing your homework.
Quick look here at how the women sprinted just a few moments ago. In for the Marina sprint, they're out onto their second lap and into the fields already of the flat 11Ks that they make toward their other section, to the next intermediate sprint after this. Claire Cameron set up really well here, as you can see, about fourth wheeled or so. Rachel Lieberman was leading things out very high wattage. It's going to be 10 watts per kilogram. Larson, though, you just can't count DDC out with Larson. Rebecca seems to be our new powerhouse when it comes to the sprinting out here today. Lieberman ends up fading for third or fourth wheel there. And I think was Brady followed up by Cameron, actually, for second and third. So solid little sprints there for the ladies as they made their way through the Marina. Let's go ahead and check in with them as they are 31K into their race. They are over. The lead group is a little ways away yet from the next intermediate sprint point. It is going to be Lieberman. Ramsey is in there. Rathwell, who made the initial attacks on the climb and split things up. Remy, and it's going to be Lederer, Larson, obviously, Cameron, Brady, McMaster, and then a chase group, a 108 back, which, barring anything insane, a tornado or hurricane that suddenly gets dropped in the middle of France, I think they will stay away.
Yeah, I would agree with that, certainly. And now you start wondering, how do you manage this situation if you want to beat Rebecca Larson today? And it seems like it would be coordinated attacks over the climbs is your best chance. And I don't know that that's going to be enough. But Alana Brady of Cryo is one rider who's on an outstanding day today. Rachel Lieberman, Megan Rathwell. I mean, there's plenty of talent out here not on that Dutch diesel team, including Lenny Ramsey as well. So I don't know that this whole, well, actually, you know what? Typically, Nathan, I'd say I wouldn't expect this group to be together for the end of the race, but I wouldn't be too surprised if most of these women make it into that last K with the front group. There's really no weak link in this chain up here.
Every single good rider. Point. We might see a really nice heads-up sprint here. Dropping anybody here is going to be
really hard.
Yeah. But if you do see it happening, you're going to take as much advantage as you possibly can, kind of a moment. You know, you're going to try and find that change.
So right, if you're
boom, I'm going to take it, kind of a thing. You know, it's like,
yeah, I agree. If you're Alana Brady, you got Megan Rathwell with you, and you've got 5 seconds as you come over the top of petite or
it's a small
QOM.
pack too, right? So
yeah, I think you go for it. Yeah, you're right. There's not a huge number. It's not like you've got 40 riders bearing down on you on that descent where they're just avalanching at you, right, Nathan? The effect is less when you've got a
Speaking of
10 rider
breakaways,
group
Dave.
chasing you. Oh
Speaking of
boy, here we
breakaways,
go.
Gagnon, and so this was initiated by Alexandra Gagnon
Huh?
from ODZ Restart, and then Cassidy was with him. So those two went. Bouchard Hall came across, and now Next is not involved. And because Next is not involved, it looks like KBH just calmed it down. I'm not sure. It's interesting what's happening here because Next is on the front pressing a little bit. But now what? We're seeing up in a 5-5 going across. No, just pulling everybody back together. I feel like Next liked the sprints out here today.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Now, I believe that Alexander Gagnon will be the husband of Evelyn Gagnon, and
Yes.
another
Gagnon
one of our.
like a canyon. That's how we learned how to say not Gagnon. So they were in chat. They gave me that one 5 years ago.
They helped.
It's Gagnon
right.
like a canyon, Nathan. So
and you've had it ever since. Yeah. But you're right. So Next is a team, and again, isn't it cool when you start seeing these teams that are successful because they have won? This is a great story, actually, when you think about it. They've been dominating up in Premier Division. They have Ashton Lambie on this team, who's the world record holder in the individual pursuit. Ashton's not even racing this weekend, and they're having tremendous success. And they've got one of the best community teams as well. So they really are covering all their bases here. As we've got this group with a 5-second advantage right now.
46 and 42, 45. Now JPV, Clan Knox can see this is not okay. And he just says, okay.
They hit a little descent. They start going downhill just a little bit here, which benefits this bigger group. They'll start to really rally.
Well, Gumball on the front here, just doing 2, now 4. Chrono from Plush. JPV is going to get involved here. Once you get 4 at this kind of level up front, and the funny thing is Velocio, they haven't been like in full on TTT mode. I know these boys got a solid 6.5 if they want on the front. They've kind of been doing more of a 5 watt per kilogram, but now that they have Hope in here, I feel like now KBH is like, this is actually sticking now, and now he's pushing to 6 watts per kilogram. That's so.
Yeah, I think
this is a different story now.
I think that they were just waiting for that rider to come across. Actually, they just needed a little more horsepower.
You think they wanted one more?
Yeah, I think it's possible, certainly, because this certainly increases their chances. They're at 17K to go. A couple features to get through here. Interesting move. But Next has to. They've got the resources now that 5 seconds shouldn't have them with their feathers too ruffled.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of riders here to put in a little work. It's whether or not they will.
And look at Velocio, and Velocio is just going to sit on here, which is the correct play. Of course, right now it's almost like Next isn't even taking the bait.
Yeah, good call on that one. We'll see what happens through the sprint section with only 5 seconds. That's really the question, is what happens through this next sprint section. With the ladies, they're on.
Well, KBH has been.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, it's funny as we say goodbye to the guys for a moment. KBH has been winning sprints out of the big group, so expect him to take it out of that small little group, and maybe they go back to the field after that. That would be my guess, Nathan, when we rejoin. But here's the women with Sarah McMaster, the Dutch diesel Canadian.
See what happens through. This is a crucial moments coming up here. It's going to tell us who's tired, who's not, who wants the points, who's feeling good. This any counterattacks,
This racing has been so exciting. I feel like our adrenal glands have been tapped, Nathan. I mean, all day long, it's been awesome racing. Thank you so much to our course designers. They really set up a beautiful one. Here we go. Another sprint coming. Claire Cameron, Rebecca Larson. Now it's a drag race. Now Larson opening up a little bit of an advantage, and Rebecca Larson will take another sprint out here.
Larson learned from her sprint with Grossman there. You sit second wheel, not first wheel over the cobbles. She learned and used that drafting power up and ends up taking it down. Nice little kick there.
All right, about 10K to the finish for the ladies. That cobbled sprint is a beast, no doubt about it. So
this is what I was talking about. This is the moment
we lose one
here. Yep. So no go for Lederer. She is
Abske finesse. Gone. Yeah, Coeur rider, but yeah. That's a tough section. She's going to hope that they back off just a little bit after the sprint, as that's going to be Lenny Ramsey up on the front right now. Actually, it's the rotation is really underway now. Megan Rathwell moving up too. I think Megan's ready to have at it here. She wants to say goodbye to this group and just skedaddle, lickety split off the front. I wouldn't put it past her.
Tough group to drop. But she definitely is someone who likes to give a go, and I would not be surprised one bit. Looking through here, it looks like Larson now making her way to the front, just controlling things, making sure that she doesn't find herself caught out because it's about to go uphill. We will hit the gradients before we see the pylon, as we head in the aqueduct sprint. Everybody's getting plenty of time to let the heart rates come down, though. So at 3:3 or so, it's definitely a tempo pace, but
here goes Alana.
Really attacking.
I think Alana is one of the better climbers in this group. Let's see what kind of damage she can do here. That's the rider in white and blue, Alana Brady on the front for Cryogen. Well, Kinsey Rimian don't care.
Let her get back. I didn't think she was.
Yeah, well, they sat up, right? Yeah, I mean, I think everyone now realizes it's going to be a brutal last 10K, and that's where we're at, coming up on 10 and some change right now. I'm excited. I really am. I mean, what is going to happen here? It's going to go ballistic. No doubt about it. I'm expecting Megan Rathwell will be one of the riders to hit. Obviously, Alana Brady is going to be a part of this conversation when we go open over the top. Rachel Lieberman. Absolutely, Rachel Lieberman could be the QOM this time through. Here we go. We've entered the launch code, and it was accepted, Nathan. It's on like Donkey Kong here.
6 watts per kilogram coming from Lieberman. She's
Imagine if you said that to the astronauts. Here.
Yeah. ATP, though,
it's on.
What do they have here besides Lieberman to really pull?
Just
Remian
Lieberman, right?
Remian's here as well.
Kinsey Rimian, right.
Here.
There's the burrito, so no draft.
You said that Alana Brady could pull this off. I think she did just that last time around, but maybe they learned their lesson, allowing her to lead things out here. It looks like the timing's going to be right for Lieberman, perhaps, as she just extends a little bit. I think Lieberman just gets it. I think Megan had to settle for 4th there.
I agree. And that's going to be Sarah McMaster there in the orange and blue coming through in that front group of 4. And those points score differently. 5, 3, 2, and 1 points at the QOM versus the sprints, which score much 8 deep. That's 4 deep at the QOM. There's Kinsey Rimian up on the front. Honey powered. She's got the anvil. Few riders with the anvil here. That's what you want. Rider in front of you.
Over and over again. 186 beats per minute, trying to get back. Oh, painful moments here. Ramsey as well. Ramsey's going to do it. And it looks like we are back. Apologies, everybody. For some reason, we just have a little bit of a hiccup in our ISP a little often, and we're looking to take care of that. But back in with the men, in with the chase group here. Dave will be right back with us. Just needs to do a quick little refresh on the back end for us. But does look like, I believe, we'll take a look and see if Kevin Bouchard was able to take that down. I have a feeling he was caught. It was not too big of a gap when he did go. So we'll see if that was able to happen. We'll get the points up in just a moment, and should have a full refresh across the board. We've got some fun in the background productions here with what's happening. Now it's going to be next, presented by Insured. Jay Jacob, though, as they head into the aqueduct. Solid little push off the front now. Bouchard Hall, Velocio in control, though, so far, over and over again. Barton now. Barton made his way back. Wait a sec. So I missed the moment that this happened, but it looks like Mike Barton actually got himself back in this race, even after getting caught out with that drop. What a move by Barton here. Perhaps picked up by a chase group and then able to work with them to get back involved here. Next here with Griffin, now on the attack onto the aqueduct. And 7 watts per kilogram here coming from him. He may actually walk away from this with this one just a tad. And 2 seconds. Jacob's not going to be doing a whole lot, it looks like, here to chase this down. Griffin, he's just going to hold it down here, Dave. We're back in. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you getting back online with us. Apologies on the little disconnect for a second. It was very momentary, so we're good to go.
Yeah, not too bad. Looks like we're going to catch both finishes here. The guy's now looking at 10K to go. Velocio, boy, they never lay back, do they? Wetmore's going to snag this Aqueduct sprint. It's going to be Simons for next, KBH third. So this is going to come right down to the last point. I have a lot of yellow, though, Nathan, right now on the front here for Velocio. I think they're up to something. I got my spider senses tingling. Velocio looks like they're on a move here. They're going to be attacking.
Do you think
Old
it's a
School
counter?
Fury's back.
Counter, perhaps? I mean, Gumbel,
Could be.
to drop Gumbel is a huge deal. That is a huge. He's got an anvil, though. That is lucky, actually.
Well
to
played.
have that anvil right now, because Velocio went straight to the front. Even with the anvil, they're kind of staying away a little bit. He'll get back, but it's not quick. Like if I were doing 7 watts per kilogram like that, I would get back real quick with an anvil, but they weren't trying to just sit up at the front. That's for sure, with how slowly that came back.
And you can see, so the next jersey is relatively close to the restart jersey there, which is also very close to the PO Auto jersey, this greenish color. It's green, different versions of green, but he does get back in. So not exactly sure, Nathan, with the anvil. We're just starting to realize the effect that it has, adding weight to a rider, their body mass. There's Wouter Zwart for ATP. You're right. That's one of the bigger pickups that is exciting to note out here today, as Zwart's going to be a danger man out here today without any question. Charles McCarthy having a strong ride. So, I mean, it's like you could mention one Velocio rider. Got to throw in Plush. They're having a strong performance today as well with it looks like we're going back to Megan Rathwell, and I don't want to sell this short. Yeah, absolutely. Please, thank you.
Yeah,
this big moment here
from Rathwell. This is huge. Brady there trying to come across, and she went from this is a bottom to top situation.
She's amazing. So Megan Rathwell, one of the best climbers in the community, without a doubt, which makes her one of the best climbers in the whole damn world. And this is going to be the Canadian now, Megan Rathwell here for the Riot team, looking to put a lot of riders in the hurt box now, Nathan. 5-second advantage, as she's not only going to be looking to get the QOM. Do you think someone can get up and join her and maybe go win the bike race here today? As this is the only way you're going to beat Rebecca Larson, is not being with her in the final 200 meters. We're at 5K to go. 5K to go here on the feature climb. Petite KOM, and Megan Rathwell, you are a star.
Yeah, 8 seconds too. This is a situation for the pack at this point. Going bottom to top.
She's going away.
And here's the thing.
Goodbye.
Russell. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm thinking about Anna Russell. She saw Mark O'Brien as well as in the Apex Women's. Oh my gosh, come on, Nathan.
So
there was
Anna,
on both sides. She saw this
She's
happen,
seen this work,
and she knew she knows how much time is needed. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Is that
listen? Anna's one of the smartest people I've ever met.
I've never met in person. You can't go from about a quarter way to go and get the time that's needed to stay away.
Right,
it was right around that 20 to 30 second marker over the top. It was able to stay away. Look at how they're not responding.
12. It's 12 seconds right now, and
not
Rachel Lieberman had. Yeah, this is, I love it. So if Claire Cameron does not win, there's no doubt she's going to pick up the QOM to me. Let's see if she can win this whole bike race. She's at 4.5K of racing remaining. I'm betting on her all day long. Megan Rathwell right now is like a cocktail napkin with an outboard motor strapped to it. I mean, she's almost one full hairpin up on the chase. This is an 8 hairpin climb when you talk about petite K. QOM. It's gone 16, 17 seconds now. This is one of the best rides we've seen in community history happening right now. Run your recorder, write this name down in pen, as the Riot rider Megan Rathwell is showing that she's the new gold standard of climbers out here. She'd be hanging right with the Roca Corba ladies when you look at the numbers. I mean, she was up at coming around the hairpin, the steepest part. She's putting 8 watts per kilo up and then comfortably settling back in. At this 5.5 watts per kilo, Megan Rathwell, absolute monster, the Canadian, crushing it. Gap at 19 seconds. This is a runaway now. There's nothing they can do.
7 riders on a downhill.
She's pulverizing it.
She is
absolutely
for
pulverizing.
me to be comfortable, I would want 30 seconds. Now I'm not saying it's going to come back, but it'll be closer,
all the way down
obviously. You know, but they are way down
Yeah.
there. I'd put everything I got though in these last moments to really open this up and hope for an anvil on the downhill. Right?
You know what?
Like,
I'm going to say not only does she win this race, the Riot rider Megan Rathwell here, the Canadian, she could do it without an anvil at this point. The gap is at 20 seconds. Mark at 20, dude. So marking at 20 there at the top. We'll watch what happens. This is going to be Alana Brady, one of the riders that I thought.
She's got a kick, though. She's got a kick, man. I don't know. I just know that the snowball effect here, this pack, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. 15 seconds. This will come back so quickly if this separates.
Diesel? So Dutch Diesel now, they're going to switch it into another gear. This is where you expect to see McMaster and Larson start participating. That's going to be Lieberman, the ATP rider, honey powered there. Alana Brady is second wheel. And
Rathwell is struggling to get it to 57 too. She's struggling
the
a
rider
little
who
bit here.
benefits the most. Okay, so again, she's just made a huge effort on that climb. We'll watch what happens closely there. Megan Rathwell sitting back in this group gets the free ride. So
Claire Cameron gets the free ride. Well, that's actually great. Now look at all these anvils. Oh man, Rathwell's got to be
look
like,
at Claire
come on.
doing exactly. Claire's not going to chase at all. She right now has the advantage of having a teammate up the road. She's
Let
freewheeling.
Lieberman dangle. Don't give her any kind of extras. What's going to happen here? Lieberman's going to do work. They're going to come across to her.
We're at 2.5K to go.
2.5K and
for
10
our leader.
seconds. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in a
It's going to be
cyclocross
close.
race. This is so close.
So Megan's going to find out how badly she wants to win a bike race right now. This is when you talk about the champion standard, if you want to win at this level, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt badly, to tell you the truth. And there's no way around it. These athletes are too strong. There's no gimme out here. They don't back off. They're animals. They're relentless. Now, so you're holding off a wolf pack right now, but Megan Rathwell, you're a lion. And she's got to rely on that. You can see a really good look here.
They
at 2K to go.
bearing down at this point. They've got 59. They're in super tuck. She's not. Rathwell. It's just over. She just doesn't have the speed on the downhill for the super tuck. It's not snowballing for her. 4 seconds. They're going to bring this back so quickly now. And I feel for her. She had the gap. It just the anvil. The timings of the speed that just didn't work out well for her on that downhill. Now she can reset though and support Cameron and get a good spot still at the end.
Well, what I would love to see is a Claire Cameron attack up and over the top here. So Rathwell will be caught. This is bike racing at its best.
Did that,
again,
though, she would get
this
caught,
race
I
fits
think,
the day.
At this
it's
point.
So it's been an incredible day of racing. And this is the heart that you're looking for out here. So that goes as your most aggressive rider of the day to Megan Rathwell. But let's see what happens now.
4 times over the top of the petite by far.
Yeah, without any doubt. No, so Alana Brady to the front. Now everybody knows Rebecca Larson's got a wicked sprint. I don't know that there's two. Well, Nathan, basically that prediction came true. They're together at 1K to go. It's just how we got here was fascinating. But now you've got the Larson situation to deal with. It's not pretty.
The Larson situation. Here comes the Larson situation. It's going to be a DDC sprint. McMaster is there as well. They're going to have to deal with Kinsey.
Claire Cameron. Yeah,
Cameron really has a solid sprint. She times him really well. We'll see what happens here in the end.
She certainly is the rider that Larson's got to be the most worried about, I would think. Lenny Ramsey also in this group, another big name, huge talent. Let's see who can deliver the goods, though, as this is it. And remembering, this is an individual race win for sure, but it's a team sport, and the points for every rider matters. So we'll start tallying everything. But 50 points for the winner, 40 for second, 35 for third, and then it really tightens up. So the big points are waiting for the fastest woman in this group. Rachel Lieberman, just off the front.
5-4, Brady, 5-5. As you can see now, Lieberman's going to go very early. She knows she doesn't have the kick,
she doesn't have
the high
option.
wattage, right? So she's just going to go as fast as she possibly can from here on out, just wind
Which
it up and
benefits
hope
Rebecca Larson.
that it hurts everybody else. It does. Where Larson perfectly. Oh my gosh, look at where Larson was sitting too. She followed the wheel so
Yikes.
perfectly and
Goodbye.
they just jumped. It's just
She's
over.
gonna.
Not only did
She's
she have the
finishing in a
power,
different zip code.
but like she had the tactic too, perfectly timed. I mean, there just wasn't anything
That was just
to do about it.
experience, power. A rider who that's what she does.
Experience,
so Rebecca Larson,
power,
congratulations.
animal, everything.
Yeah.
It's
Animal
just-
instinct.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, come on.
Well, the guys are at about 4K to go, a little less than 4K to go. So we pick up Wouter Zwart, young man out of Arizona who is now on this ATP team, as it is bedlam, isn't it, Nathan? 4K to go. Less than that. Let's call it 3.5K to go here.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting how this plays out with the boys as they make their way to the line. The little bit of breaks taking place over the top of the climb. We'll see if we can get a replay of what happened over the top there, as they definitely had some solid, awesome attacks going down. As soon as we can, I'll bring those on in and see who, what, where, and why of those attacks as they make their way on the downhill. It does look like, though, as we look behind them, it's a solid 54 seconds, which tells me, well, there's a couple that did get dropped off here. Smallman, as well as, what is Uberti doing back here? This is so surprising.
Surprised. Yeah, big surprise.
Wonder if something went down or what happened there, because Chris Uberti, I can see he was 7 seconds back at the second to last switchback, actually. So interesting to see here, trying to get back on terms. Cronit's on the back here too. I think everybody's still trying to kind of find their footing.
Yeah, but you know what? Looks like no harm, no foul, as everything had come back together. This looks like a replay that we're going to go back and take a look at.
Yeah, so it was Zwart sitting in, Walter Zwart, as we look to see if we can grab just a little bit of an idea of what took place to get us into this position. It does look like at the front, it was Royal City Racing. It's going to be Lewinster, I would think, making the moves, next level, following. Gumbel is there as well. And at this point, Smallman and Uberti are already dropped. It looks like the last-ditch efforts coming in from Velocio and the trail mix. Cassidy Gagnon's there up toward the front.
Well,
as
maybe
well.
that's why, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that they had those guys in trouble, continue
Just
to
give
pour it
a
on.
go. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
how we got to where we're at over the top of this climb. Now coming in the last K or so. This is it right here, Dave.
All right. Well, so KBH has been the dominant force sprinting out here. That's Dan Cassidy, another Velocio rider. Velocio's got the numbers. They're going to stack the top 10. I'm looking for next, Nathan. Is there enough here that if they have a good finish, they can do it? I don't know. I think it looks like a day for the men in yellow, to tell you the truth, but they're going to have to close out the deal. There's Charles McCarthy, big fan of Charles. He's got a great fighting spirit out there. All right, Nathan, we're into it now. Get stuck in, guys. This is your finishing sprint. It's the grand finale out here. What's been an amazing day of racing in France.
Yeah, and watch out for Chin. He's up. He's been an upset in a couple of these sprints, and he's been a little bit quiet, just making the group.
Yeah, the
It'll be interesting
plush.
to see.
Yeah, I would have to say he's an up-and-coming rider. And there he is, Nathan, right on cue. Perfectly positioned for this finale. The rider in black helmet,
Burritos.
red highlight.
Wonder, lots of burritos being thrown down. This will make things interesting. A little bit
I
early
guess
to
it's-
really be a threat.
what else
though,
you gonna-
to
yeah.
anything. So, there it is.
Here we
It's
go.
gonna be
It started.
Cassidy opening it up first. No, Frank here actually from Velocio, out of the US of A. Barton, amazing ride
Jason
by Mike
Frank.
Barton, getting himself involved still. Frank actually
Wow.
gets the gap. Nobody on his wheel. Is the speed there to come over the top? I think his teammate's going to do it. Wetmore, boom! It's going to be. I think that next just barely we're able to pull that off for that second place.
KBH.
I mean,
Let's see. We'll go back, but Jason Frank there, the Velocio rider that we were with. We can take another look at that sprint here as Jason Frank leads this out.
where is KB? Oh, there he is. KBH is there coming through at third wheel. But then the next rider, which is
It's going to be
Simmons?
Wetmore, then
Simmons?
Kevin, I believe.
No, the next rider I think
So-
came through. Yeah, the next rider maybe. I think.
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy, there
No.
it is.
Yeah.
Let's It's gonna be
Well,
Simmons.
again,
Bashard Hall.
we're going to have to go
unable
back and look at
unable to
the.
take Frank, and then I think
We can't
he
be
did
sure
take
of
four.
that
We
until we
can't.
look
Yeah,
at the
you're
back
right.
end of API, right?
And then Barton, look at Barton taking 5th place though after being off the back, proving us. I mean, seriously, how did he get back?
Good
Is what I
job.
want to know. I want the story. Like what? What even
There's not enough
happened there?
anvils in the world. There's not enough anvils in the world.
Oh my gosh, that was quite the race, Dave. Amazing racing.
Yeah, that's fun. That really is. These teams bring out the best in each other, and that, I mean, it's an old adage that steel sharpens steel, right? But that's exactly what's happening in both the men's and the women's racing in America's East. Don't tell anyone else, Nathan, but this is my favorite group of the America's East. Are just awesome.
Rebecca Larson.
So Rebecca Larson taking the win for Dutch Diesel today. Now, these are your individual results. We'll obviously been compiling our team fastest through, first across the line, and all these points with Alana Brady second today, Rachel Lieberman third, Claire Cameron in fourth, and Sarah McMaster fifth. Kinsey Remian takes a strong 6th place, Lenny Ramsey for 7th, Megan Rathwell in 8th, Victoria Lederer 9th, and Christina Grossman gets up there for 10th. So there's no fight. There's no quit in that fighter, Christina Grossman. Good job, riders.
Let's go ahead and see
I need a
run
drink.
through a couple of the B category. And it is going to be Rachel Stanton coming on through for Fearless Furiosa, Natalie Byron coming on through there in 2nd, Shannon Kaplan, then Shannon Kane, and Erin Tolfie. That is going to be your top 5 here in the Americas East. For the first across the line for the scratch race out there today, it's going to be Ann Vincent there. Coming on through, followed by Deanna Moore, Nikki Tischauer, and then Maggie Carter, Bridget Brown, Alessandra Smirich, Kelly Wagner, Kelsey Vitter, Marilyn Charbonneau, and then Netta Voigt. Voigt there coming on through for the WTRL drafting dynos. The D's, Dave. Doesn't look like someone.
Molly Kripe. Looks like Molly got it there with Carrie Hindman 2nd, Trisha Calamatas 3rd, Jessica Busby 4th, Nat Bresbois 5th, Robin Baxter 6th, Sarah Dow 7th, Claire Atkinson 8th, Aaron McGlenigan in 9th, and M. Cox in 10th.
And for the men's racing, let's go ahead and take a look real quick here and see how this played out.
This is the one we just read. There we go.
Yeah, Tucker Wetmore comes on through, followed up by Jason Frank. It's going to be Jake Simmons for next level. So he did get the better. Oh, wow. Frank held on, actually.
It was
You were
Frank
right.
for 2nd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
were
back
right
end
there.
API. Yeah.
It don't lie. It's going to be Kevin Bouchard Hall there in 4th there. Mike Barton, again, amazing ride. After we saw the Saturday.
Look at Velocio. 4 in the top 5. Not bad, guys. Not bad.
No, not bad at all. Gumbel, Charles McCarthy for Velocio there. Wouter for ATP, holding down for the Racing Hydrogen. Craig Luenstra for Royal City, keeping them in the top 10 as well. And then Gagnon for Restart Racing. They're hanging out there as well for 10th place. Let's see if any Bs have finished up just yet. No, we'll leave that alone. That's going to be it for us,
We'll
though,
be back.
everybody. As we are going to be back here in less than an hour, actually. So lots of racing still to go for the America's West. It'll be Kate in my spot. Dave is going to not move and stay right where he is.
I'll be right
statue,
here.
Putting him in the cryo right now. And you'll see him unchanged, unaged, a minute when we get back. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
That was fun.
Where to go. WTRL.racing. That was great. Really, really always solid. This course is really opening up some amazing races, Dave. I'm loving this. So make sure to head over to WTRL.racing for all the results. Do the follow, the like, the comment, all the things that help out the channel. If you want to, follow us on socials too. Get interacting with us. We're loving all the interaction that's happening there. And we'll see you in about an hour
Yelp.
for the West.
Yelp me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Dave
I don't
aged
know if you
maybe 5 minutes now or so just now. All right, everybody. We'll see you in an hour. Right on.